Hi, you guys. My name's John Wright. I had to go get me a cup of coffee out of my favorite cup that's on display across the United States of America that has my brother Jerry Wright's face on it. And I just don't mind telling people the truth. And you know, I'm gonna goddamn be telling people the truth. Don't you like my shirt today? You know, I bought these shirts and stuff months ago because I've been actively working towards something. You know, it's like I told my brother in law, Ernie. I said, you know, things don't happen just like that. Things happen because they're planned to happen. And just like me sitting here right in front of you today, it's planned to happen. And it's planned to happen. And the truth will set you free. And I will tell you that I was talking about a creed in the last video that I will be placing. This will be the next video after that. And I was just talking about the creeds that I've taken to be a locksmith or ethics, and I've taken ethics classes. I've been in million-dollar deals before to be screwed, and a gold mine that's outside of Elko, Nevada that I located, I brought to the attention to a different gold mine company, my brother Jerry, because my brother and my stepdad works at the gold mine. Maybe they decided to steal it so they would have favor there for their future, not mine. But regardless what happened on that, the gold mine sits there. And if it wasn't so, why would I have the knowledge of a gold mine being there? I worked in Elko, Nevada. I ran off from Morton, Washington after I got married. Lost my job. My Boy Scout leader down there runs the 2x4 mill, and you know there's a lot of things that goes on there. But I will tell you what I told you about Millhouse Smokehouse, the Zodiac's lair right there, D.B. Cooper's money, the cops being involved in it. Everything that I'm saying is true, or I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. It would be goddamn a waste of my time. But I will tell you, my dad confessed that the money was stolen. He gave me all the tips and the tricks and the clues. He made me a sharp person. He trained me to observe people, watch people. And you know, my family members, when they cause trouble and stuff, they always come and run and they hide behind me and they're telling me things, but not telling me everything. Just what I need to know to react. So they're setting what they call a bonfire. It's like my dad telling me he could just pick up the phone and call Bonnie and cause a bonfire. What he does is he calls my sister and he causes post-traumatic stress disorder. And then Bonnie just goes and wow it around, and then it lights a wildfire. Just telling you the truth. You see, when they ran me off and they used the law enforcement to do so, and my mother and them, and they were all dirty in Lewis County right there at 561 Northwest Rhode Island Place, they came upon me, they entered my house, they went through my stuff. They also did arson down there at one point, prior to doing this, foreclosing on me, I should say, and my valuables, keeping my property held against me for months. Making such a goddamn scene in Lewis County, Bruce Kimsey, I can never forgive you for that. There goes a raccoon right there. We got a big raccoon in the yard right here running through. That's nice. Anyway, nice to see a little raccoon. So there it goes across the yard. I see everything here, by the way. It's nice to see a raccoon. You see, I watch things interact. My neighbors, hey, you know what? They see me out here racing my cars and stuff. Maybe they got the goddamn clue. I'm not their threat, but they've been fucking with me. And They probably understand that I just assume. Well, put it this way. If I wanted some shit off somebody, I'll scrape it off their goddamn teeth. You know what I mean? Because if people causes you shit, they want fucking shit. I'll fucking scrape it off their goddamn teeth if they get too close to me. I think I'm a normal person. And by the way, let's get back to this story. I want to tell you about just prior to my grandmother's death. I come in the house and my aunt says to me, John, he goes, my mama likes it when you go in and spend some time with her. Would you go in and spend some time with my mama? You know, and you know, talk to her like you do. Sure, yeah, sure. You know, go ahead. Hey, Grandma, how's it going? I end up sitting on her bed. I end up laying on her bed right there, and my grandma's sitting there, and she's face to face with me, and she's gonna die soon. I'm talking to her on her deathbed, and she's telling me, we've had conversations, and I only tell her the good conversations about my mother. I would never tell her something that wasn't a nice story. I wouldn't blemish my mother's my mother to her, and that's one of the things that she liked about me. She knew how dirty her daughter was. But I wouldn't do such a thing just because they would do such a thing and slander me to everyone around Lewis County. And because I run bowling alleys and everybody goddamn knows me, they know it's a fucking lie. Isn't that nice? I've invited all of the cops and all of their family to come down and bowl in my bowling alley. Why? Because I wanted to bring people together instead of pushing them apart. I can't run a bowling alley that has half the people in it. So anyway, I'm down there at my grandmother's house after they've ran me off. Bruce Kimsey and Jerry Wright and my attorney up here, and the murder of Rhonda Reynolds, and so much more. So anyway, I'm down there at my grandmother's, and we're pretty much on her deathbed. She starts telling me, she says, John, there's a man with a story, and you're the man with the story, and the story is about you. And I guess I was flattered. My grandmother was saying such things. She's offered me all of her property. She's offered me everything that she'd give her own children if I would only take care of her daughter Jeannie and protect them from my mother and them. You know. But there's a man with a story, and John, you're the man with the story. And she told me about the clothes at the top of the stairway in her house. And I'd seen those clothes that was in that room. I didn't know I was looking at, and those were my dad's clothes. And I told your dad to get those goddamn clothes out of my house. And she's talking and she's telling me about the things that's gone on. And she's brought it to my attention, everything. So I have my grandmother that's 93, 94 years old, Isabel L. Nelson, and this is part about the Zodiac. Made me promise laying on her bed next to her. There's a man with a story, and the story's about you, John. I remember my dad's flashlight. It was the flashlight that they used in California to blind the people. Darlene Ferrin and David down at that park prior to my dad coming back from his drive wherever he disappeared to in my mom's red F-85 Oldsmobile. 8 and 5 is 13. It's the Zodiac. My dad was the Zodiac. The radio came on and said, Newsflash. The Zodiac Killer has struck. My dad, just about that time, comes through the camper door. And I said, Dad, the Zodiac Killer's near us. You know, and I point to the radio and everybody's in dead silence. And my sister Bonnie says, when I'm telling my sister recently the story, she says, I was there. And I said, I know. Well, it all comes to light. You know, I never seen my dad's flashlight that was like this after California. He had it with him in California. He had it with his camper. It's his flashlight. It's his flashlight, and it goes in his vehicle. And it's red, it's an ever-ready flashlight. And that's the bright light that they were getting. And it was very bright. We used to blind, he used to I remember him telling me, spotlighting deer. I mean, I'm young. I'm in his Ford pickup, his white Ford pickup, and even his green Ford pickup, I believe. Turquoise blue Ford pickup that he got. He had to get a better one before he went to California, I know that. And they were both brand new pickups, by the way. He just wanted more. Anyway, what I'm saying is, they forced me to come forward. I never knew what it was about. I honestly didn't know what it was about. My dad, George L. Wright, and my grandmother, Isabel L. Nelson. And then I've got Jerry Lee Dunn. You know, my grandmother's son, my mother murdered. And then she ran off to Port Angeles, Washington with George Wright. And she has that life. And you see, when they had all this here, Marietta and him had a fight on the phone. And she says, now John belongs to me. You've done that to my son. Now John belongs to the farm. You know. And I'm telling you, family. I'm telling you, friends. My friends are my family. My family is not necessarily my friends. I've had to live this life because I was forced to live this life. It was the only life that I know. But I swear to you, when I come forward and I tell the truth, it makes them tremble because they can't lace up my boots. It's hard to face the truth when they're looking right at it. They forced me to eat cat food when I was a kid. I had my nuts played with my dad. My dad gave me his knives at the end of his life, told me about the money at the bowling alley. The bowling alley's money was stolen. And I found out he was a Zodiac Killer. I found out he was D.B. Cooper. And I found out that that was Hezbollah in Morton, Washington. And I gotta go. And the Fairhart family, they forced my dad into a life of slavery. Thank you for your time, and you have a great day. 14 minutes and 20 seconds exactly.